My name is Fawad Shaikh, and I've been a foster parent for, I believe, 5 years. Actually, I've wanted to be a foster parent since I was a kid. I don't actually remember when exactly, but I met my wife in college, and I remember telling her back then that I had wanted to do it. And I mean, the reasoning why was really just, I saw the need. When I grew up, there was a foster home not too far away, just down the street. This was stuff we did during COVID when all the kids were in the house. I didn't really know what it meant at the time, to be honest, but I just knew that it was a foster home. Probably maybe that was the initial spark. Social worker called us and said, you have 15 minutes to decide whether or not you want to have a new baby. My wife went to the hospital to spend the night with him. He was born a little bit premature. And because it was a safe surrender baby, we knew it would be potentially permanent. We have 2 older kids of our own. We have 9 months to prepare, and like this one, like we'd already given away all our baby stuff. We didn't think we were having another kid. Like family agreements, so like film buckets. So the day that we got the call, my wife went to the hospital to spend the night with him. And I had basically that time to like call friends and ask for donations. And so in that time we got a crib and car seat and high chair and everything we needed. Like a whirlwind day.
My name is Renee.
My name is Rosa, and we've been foster parents for 3 years.
And we've been adopted for 7 years.
We had been married for several years at that time, and we were having trouble having children. I also was working as a preschool teacher, so I had kids in my classroom that were in foster care. So I think that kind of helped in my decision making.
After exhausting all of our options, this was our option, based on our, finances at the time. And, we really were looking at everything, and we felt that, giving back to kids would be a great way of doing this.
But then we heard about foster to adopt. We said, okay, well, let's try it. Let's see what it's about. Let's do the trainings. And that's how we started off. So that's the boys at SeaWorld, one of our many trips that we've done. We got certified, and then the very next day, we get a phone call. We went from having 0 kids to having 2 immediately. And we had only planned for 1.
My name's Rosalind Grushkin. I go by Roz.
This was my first little guy.
I started fostering 17 years ago. I started my foster parent journey in kind of an unusual way. I was working as a social worker at Children's Hospital Los Angeles, and I've always been drawn to babies.
Little puppy, hi!
And one of the nurses was in the process of adopting, and she asked me if I ever thought about being a pre-adoptive parent. I've never even heard of it. I fostered 86 babies.
The experience was very interesting. It was scary, to be quite honest.
A baby's going to be placed with them in 24 hours. A lot of the parents are like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I need?
Do we have enough clothes and blankets and diapers and pacifier straps? Or we need this, or we need burp cloths, or are 3 kids, 2 in the car seats going to fit in the car? Do you have to get a bigger car? Not much sleep as well.
I talk to those parents on the phone. I say, get a pen and paper. I'm going to give you a list.
Some of the preemies, because of their size, they can only eat small quantities. Normal newborn would take certainly 2 ounces at a time. If you have a preemie that's taking a quarter or a half ounce at a time, you're feeding them that much more frequently. It's nothing that's, overwhelming, other than the fact that you're not going to get a whole lot of sleep.
I used to go to the gym every night. I would go for 3 hours a night, and as soon as we got that call, I never made it to the gym again. It's something that you have to give up a lot of yourself.
The bureaucracy was what I struggled with the most.
So like the first 6 months, he was seen by numerous therapists and psychologists and doctors, in addition to his normal pediatrician visits.
Just people who were doing their job, but it was so much checklist oriented.
I still love stuffed animals.
I like that you have it by the window. It's like,
Yes, and babies love that changing table.
Like we had a really rainy season, and we didn't have a great pool person at that time, and the pool turned green. Now I only fostered newborns, never any ambulatory children, and there was a fence all the way around the pool, but I was suspended from fostering because the pool was green.
You don't just make it into the nursery. You have to be something special.
It was like, seriously, you guys? And it took like 3 visits from the county to come out and to clear me once again so that I could have a newborn in the house.
Or sometimes you're reading their file and you're like, wow, I had no idea, right? This is gonna be like a little infant area. A lot of the times they don't give you all the information. They do come with a lot that goes on. You know, the loss of their biological family, the loss of whatever foster care they came from. We're a new environment for them, so they've lost a lot.
You weren't with them as they developed those behaviors, so it's just sprung on you, and you don't always have a clear idea of what it is that caused the trauma. Like you'll sometimes have, like they'll generally tell you like a brief history, but it's not the same as knowing exactly what happened. It is hard, especially for our other 2 kids. You know, every time the foster kids leave, they cry a lot. You know, they're really sad.
And although we know we're foster parents, it's a loss for us too. You know, they tell you in the trainings, don't get too close, but how do you not get too close to kids? How do you not hug them? How do you not fall in love with them?
You look for a support group, but you don't really know of what kind of support group, because there's so many different phases that you're going through that just a regular parent is not going through.
This one was like the week that they came to us. Aww.
Your child may go home, and you have to kind of mentally prepare for that.
It's difficult, especially, I mean, one of them was with us for a year, another one was with us for 7 months. You do grow an attachment to them, and they do to you as well.
I would have benefited from infant massage trainings, mommy and me bonding classes, because you go through trainings skin to skin that I can go and ask questions, because I'm a new parent, and I'm not a new parent of a newborn, 6 month, you know, right? And then a 1.5-year-old. So what are the things that they've experienced? Like, I had to find some resources. I had to do things on my own.
There wasn't a whole lot of support during the process of applying to become a foster parent.
I just heard from this little guy's mom. He's now 15 years old.
I never met another foster parent, and the questions were just endless. The paperwork was endless.
No, they don't give you a therapist. So that may have been helpful, actually. Yeah, no, they don't provide therapy.
Everything you do can be nurturing touch for a baby.
I had this little guy, and his sister was in another foster home.
In fact, I leave the newborn clothed, and I just hold their head under the warm water, and I massage their head while they're having a shampoo. They love it.
Yeah, this is like a project my wife did with the kids, a prophet tree like Abraham, Jesus, Muhammad. Infant massage gave me an intentional time specifically for bonding. He might slow down being with the squirminess and like, oh, I think he likes this one. He's letting me do this one a little bit more. Others, he'd just be off, like running away. I definitely got an idea of certain massage techniques that he enjoyed more than others, especially like on his back and his thighs he liked. And the feet, he liked the feet. I think he made him laugh, but he liked it.
I got a call about a micro preemie. She had been born under 2 pounds at 6 months of age, and they were just waiting for her to grow in the NICU. And she had already learned the difference between held and not held, and she definitely liked being held. Obviously, if I'm at the hospital, I can't lay on the couch with the child, which is my favorite thing to do.
I was obsessed with baby blankets.
But they had rocking chairs, and I would just put the child over my shoulder and just sit quietly with them. Like I do when I'm home, I would focus on just slowing my breathing down so that they're just next to me, just feeling me being calm. That's my biggest trick, if there is one, is just exuding calm so that the baby just isn't getting any extra nervous input.
They just loved being here because it was calm.
I held the baby as much as humanly possible. I would hold the baby, I would be patting the baby, talking to the baby would be seeing my animated facial expressions, the whole thing. And I feel like it gave them the message that your needs are going to be met before you even realize you have the need. So it reduced the amount of of crying when I would put a baby down. It's reassuring. It's like always having a sweater on, some yummy cashmere sweater. It's like, oh, it just feels good. And babies get used to that, and it brings their anxiety level down altogether.
We're going to be able to adopt him, hopefully. It's been over a year now. We're hoping sometime this summer.
I'm loving this. I'm like getting emotional because it's so beautiful.
Just hearing them call me mom and, like, telling me how much they love me. It made everything that we went through in those 3 years worth it. It taught us a lot. I enjoy every moment of it.
Sweet girl.
I brought the puppy to the vet, and one of the staff said, "Are you still fostering babies?" And I said, "No, I just retired from it." She said, "Oh, I always looked forward to you coming in because you'd not only have the dog with you, but you'd be carrying a foster baby as well." It made me feel really good to be doing this. I did it initially for selfish reasons. I couldn't have my own children, and I feel completely fulfilled.
Look how tiny and brown my hair was. What? Whoa.
My life has gone exactly the way it was supposed to go.